Name tag, crazy with it. Straight gifted, I'm straight ripping. Man, that's all standing. Oh, so crazy.
Took some notes down because I wasn't gonna freestyle it, but I had an interesting question that I've asked myself. I've seen this question presented online, and I wanted to get right to it. And a necessary question for this episode is: should artists still be dropping albums in 2026? I mean, let's be honest about it. The way we consume music, the way we listen to it, has changed completely, right? So you could say we're in a singles driven environment nowadays. Short form content, it can make a song take off on Instagram, TikTok for sure. While you got a whole album out, and let's say the other 9 songs, they barely get heard, they can get forgotten about easily. Not that they aren't always going to be there, but they can get forgotten about in the grand scheme of like your album release, right? So does putting together a 10, 12, or even 15 track album, does that make sense nowadays? I would say the answer is yes still, but maybe not for the reason that we used to make albums, right? Not the same reason. Now let's list off the pros. You got pro number one, right? An album gives people a bigger picture of who you are. A single can introduce you, but you got an album that can help tell people what you're about, your personality or whatever, right? If you're an artist and you're trying to build a body of work, the album still gives you the opportunity to create, the world, a whole world. You can world build around your music when you got an album. It's basically a statement overall. Let me blow this up on the iPad. I feel like I had to do this last episode. My album is out, by the way, the label LP, LABL LP. It's across all platforms you can buy and stream music, such as nametag.bandcamp.com. Of course, Apple Music, Spotify. Had to do a little shameless plug in between there. But with an album, you got more opportunities to create moments. I noticed with my album, I put it out. I had, I think Feel Free was the first single. Now, all right, they feeling that. I hit them with another single with Do Work. But I still got like about 7. I still got 7 more joints. Because, yeah, it was 9 tracks I put out with that. So I still got 7 more joints that could really work. You know what I mean? So it's a longer life, if you get what I'm saying. But you got more opportunities to create moments. The album isn't necessarily about putting out, let's say if you had a 10-song album, for example, it ain't about all 10 songs becoming hits. You might have one song that'll connect with somebody else just solely off the lyrics alone. Another one, people might like the song, but not really be too familiar with the lyrics, but they love the beat, though. The beat is fire, right? Another one could be a song that people love seeing you play live. I got mad artists where it's like I knew about them because of the songs I saw them play live, and the songs wasn't even out yet. They didn't release them until way later. But that's another way. You got a song that might not get discovered until like 6 months down the line. You drop the album in August, you like, man, ain't nothing really catching like how I wanted to catch. And that's, 6 months later down the line, people talking about 3 or 4 tracks off your album that's hitting because they just getting around to it. So you know how it is nowadays. Like people, hey man, you competing with everything in people's phones, right? But one thing I do like about albums the most, like I'm more so like of the drop a maxi single. Now, I'm telling my age, but like drop a maxi single. I'm more on that line of things. But at the same time, an album does create catalog. It's like your real estate, right? I think independent artists overlook this a lot because you're not just releasing music for the week only, right? If that case, just drop a single a week or whatever. Do whatever works for you in that sense. But you building a catalog that can potentially generate more streams, downloads, sync opportunities if the songs ain't got samples, and depending on what the music supervisor is looking for, but performances and new listeners years from now. That's the thing. You put out the art. It's no expiration date on art, if you ask me. And I think that's important. But then let's talk about the cons. Attention spans are different nowadays, right? People get overwhelmed with music. Dropping a bunch of songs doesn't mean people are going to listen to all 14 songs. If you don't have an audience waiting for the album, you could probably spend months making a project that'll disappear in a couple of days. Just like that, couple of days, maybe even a day, right? You got to promote it. Once it's out, you got to promote that shit. Artists will think like, I'm dropping my album Friday, everybody going to listen. That's ego. That's all up in here. And like, why should they? Why should they check out your album? An album, it needs a reason for people to care. Your album release, people need to care about it. If you're an independent artist, you may not have a label, you might not have a team, Might not have a publicist, nobody to pitch the playlist, no radio team, no team to help work the single to radio, no marketing budget. You basically are the team when you're an independent artist in a lot of scenarios, right? You can end up burying your best songs. You got fire all across this album, right? It could be what 15 songs, right? But let's say you got like 3 fire songs is on that album, and you want people to hear it, but they don't care, man. They overwhelm. That's a chance your song will never get the attention it deserves. That's what you got to start thinking, like, damn, do I want to put this on the album, or do I want to release a full body of work, or do I want to just go ahead and just drop some singles or whatever? So you ask me, like, what's the strategy? The second part of this question for the episode, what's the strategy? Let's say I ain't gonna make it evergreen. So let's say, what's the strategy for 2026? I think artists should stop thinking like album or just drop singles, even though I just said like, but it's all about what works for you. But don't think that. Think about singles into an album. Think about the build up. You could release 2 or 3 songs prior to. I did it with the label LP. I wasn't going to initially drop an album. It was just going to be a couple singles here and there. But as it started building up, I'm like, all right, I think I can go ahead and drop an album. Let people get familiar with your sound. Create some I hate this word, but create some content around your songs. Try to build some anticipation. Then drop the album. Then work the album. You got to put the work in. The work don't end at that album. Trust me, it does not. Once the album come out, don't just move on to the next project. Show people you believe in this album, because they ain't gonna believe in it if you don't. Show people you believe in the album. Keep working the project. I don't care if it take a whole year. Forget all that. Man, you got to keep dropping like you artist, man. You got this album out. You want people to believe in this album. Like, keep promoting that album, man. Trust me. People ain't looking like, damn, I wonder when they dropping the next. Like, if your comments ain't lighting up with people demanding that next project, trust me, keep working that album that you got. It's some songs in there them people ain't heard. You know what I'm saying? And then the next option is you can make the album shorter. You don't necessarily need to try to play the streaming game and be like, I need like about 20 tracks on there. I need 18 tracks. Man, you might be cool with like 9. I put 9 on mine. You might be cool with like 9, 10, maybe 11 joints. Like, keep it at that. Keep it cool. You know what I mean? Keep it real concise. You know what I'm saying? The bigger point, though, I really don't think, like, people be saying the albums are dead. I don't think albums are dead. I think just promoting the album is dead. Like, if you just promote an album as it is dead, no, you need to create some content around it, tell some stories about some songs from the album, do something to keep people interested and wanting to come back and be like, damn, I got to check out the album now. Let me check out a couple singles off that. Singles, videos, short form content, performances, interviews, podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Artwork for different singles, like whatever, you know what I mean? Just keep the conversation going. If you're an indie artist, I mean, you don't have to release an album every year. Who said that we had to do that? Where did that come from? Like, I got to drop every year. You kind of don't. Or maybe just drop when you got something to say. That could help too. You could do stuff in between. Like, you don't have to just I got to drop an album. Nah, maybe I don't want to drop nothing if I ain't got nothing to say. Let's think about that. You know what I mean? We ain't just trying to feed the algorithm anymore. We're trying to build like a body of work with these albums that I want somebody to discover the label LP like 4 or 5 years from now. Like, damn, I missed this. Like, damn. All right, let me go down the rabbit hole. Let me go through the catalog. Dang, who is this artist? Where they been at? You know what I mean? I've been out. You know what I'm saying? You can look at it like that. You know, that's all I got, man. I've been rambling long enough. I'm gonna come back around. We got some more questions. Again, a name tag is necessary. Music and cultural conversations worth having. This was episode 77. Whew. We getting close to 100. Make sure y'all follow my other podcast too, Written Gems with Catch P, with me and Catch P, and also Marvel of the Minds, MRVL of the Minds with my dog Peace of Mind. We talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just right before I recorded this, I wrapped up an episode with that. The label LP is out, nametag.bandcamp.com, and also on streaming. But I will catch y'all the next go round. It's been a Name Tag is Necessary. Peace.